Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2024. Welcome to my daily vlog, my regular morning stand-up where I turn on the lights and the camera and talk about what I'm doing and what I have been doing to try to make content creation a long-term thing. Beyond we're a year in so far and it's coming along, but got to pick up the pace. So let's start by talking about not just, this is Monday, not just Friday, but the weekend. So Friday I got a lot of writing done for my next long form video. Not a lick of capture, but a lot of gameplay and writing and understand what I'm going to say and that kind of thing. And I'm going to try to pick up the pace today. We'll talk about today in a second, and I think I can streamline that and maybe get it done sooner than later. So also then on Saturday was our podcast recording for the GenXGrownUp podcast. We recorded basically 4 episodes. We're recording for about 3 hours. It'll satisfy the whole next month of shows. We're doing some rewinds in the middle of that, but those will continue to be edited throughout the next few weeks and released on Thursdays. But that the content's recorded, just need to package it up and get it out, and that's we'll do that tomorrow. In fact, we'll talk about that then. What else? Let's talk about stats then. So stats are still right, kind of hovering around my low water mark of 10,000 views and 50 subscribers as a 7-day running average. We're at 12,000 views and 51 subscribers. Man, we had a couple of weekdays. But that being said, last time we talked, I think we were at 44.3 something. We're just about hit 44.4. So in fact, this morning I can report that as of this morning anyway, we're now at 44,500 subscribers. So another, I think 45,000 should be attainable by the end of this month if the pace continues, if we don't dip below that, that minimum that I've kind of established for myself. So it's coming along. So let's talk about today. I have 3 key things that I want to accomplish today. The first is to complete writing and do all the game capture for my long form video. I would like to get that out no later than tomorrow. That's my target. So I also need to do pod preparation, so take the raw audio, get it ready for editing tomorrow. That we'll do first thing tomorrow morning, so I'll do that sometime today. The third thing I want to do is record the next bit for Retro Days of Celebrating Yesteryear, because that's ready for me to edit, and we're kind of going hand to mouth. We had 4 or 5 episodes in the can, but now we're kind of right on the ragged edge after the holidays, so I don't want to delay any further, make sure I get that out to the editor so that can get out, because it took me 2 days longer than I thought yesterday, and I felt bad about that. And then I have one more thing that I could potentially work on. I'll do a little bit of teensy bit of research on. I got another handheld gadget that I think is from 1979 that I picked up at the flea market yesterday, and I want to take a look at that and see, get my facts straight about where it came from, because there's like no documentation on the box, like what the year is. Anyway, trying to figure out what it's where it came from so that I can do a little bit on it and see if it works and show it off. So another little easy video to knock out later in the week once I have my facts straight. Yeah, I think that is going to line up today. And I'll share one thing with you, which is on Saturday I was having lunch, my wife and I, and we were just kind of chatting about things, with this project and everything. And she asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years if everything is going great? And I had it really, I didn't have an answer ready. I had to go, that's a good question. And I think really what she was getting at was, she was kind of, her follow-up questions were asking about, the longevity of the material I'm covering and how long there's a viable Gen X component to it that people can, I mean, Gen Xers are not making new ones, right? We're a diminishing commodity. But the 2 parts that I shared with her, my answer was, if I could be doing what I'm doing in 5 years and be viable, I'd be very happy, because this is, it's the happiest I've lived in a long while, not, even taking into account the stress, the financial stress, it's still very comforting and relaxing. I'm able to keep myself on task. I don't take stretches of days of no work or anything. I'm staying on task. So I know I can self-manage. So, if I'm just doing that in 5 years, that would be great. But her other part of the question was about, what about this content? Like, does anybody care about this flea market toy from 1979 in 5 years? And I mean, it's a valid question, but in reality, it's kind of funny. I told her, I said, it only has to last as long as I'm alive, because then I don't care anymore, right? But you know, in reality, I'm one of the older Gen Xers, and so born in '69. So as there's, I don't think the viability of this kind of thing. She's right too that, and people have suggested here and in the vlog too that I could push newer content, you know, to catch nostalgia for other, you know, late era Gen Xers, you know, early Nintendo stuff and Sega stuff, and I absolutely could. I haven't, just because, look, I can only do one thing at a time. I can't do multiple things simultaneously, and that's not my expertise, because that's not what I grew up with. So I certainly could, but the you know, the discussion resulted in, you know, do you see this as something you want to sustain with long term? And I said, well, at the end of 5 years, 5 years from now, I would say that I'm either doing this happily and making money at it, or I would likely have found a position that that is related to something that I'm doing, because I don't know that I would just jump right back to what I used to be doing just for the paycheck, when I've now learned how meager I can live if I need to. I don't need to make the money I used to make. I thought I did, really thought I did, and now I've learned that I don't. So yeah, it was I had a good weekend hanging out with my wife. You know, we went to the flea market and stuff that I told you about, but B, it gave food for thought, and it was a good, I wouldn't even say it's a wake-up call. It's not like I had an epiphany. It was a good, like, reality check, I guess. You know, kind of like, you know, are you still happy with this? Is this still where you want to be going? And I'm like, yeah, it is. After, what has it been now? I remember if it's been 14 months or more. I can't keep track. It's been over a year. 5 quarters, maybe? Yeah. Yeah, so I want to share that with you, just tell you about that. Hey, I want you to, that's later. First, I want to thank you. See, I don't edit these. First, I want to thank you for stopping in to check out today's vlog, if in fact you did. I'm grateful that you took the time out, and I see you new people popping in, and I'm so happy to have you here and hanging out and seeing what this is all about. If you're here every day, you know I love you for that. Thank you so much for being part of my little support system here. Please have a great Monday to get the week kicked off. Do something good for yourself, and I'll talk to you again next day. Bye-bye.